So next is our speaker is Kun Verapat. Kun Verapat is come from FWD Life Insurance. So welcome to Kun Verapat. To next topic is bring Agile to the table.
สวัสดีครับเสียงดังแล้วนะโอเคทักทายด้วย So good morning. Glad to be here in my life community over here. Let me do some checking first. How many of you in this room actually coming from IT area? Wow. I'm interested. And how many of you actually coming from startups? More number, I envy you. Well, I would assume the rest actually not coming from startup. That means probably we are coming from a corporate enterprise. And for me today, I'd like to share with you the voice from the other side of people who actually endorse the corporate company to move forward, but being challenged by a group of geeks like us talking about Agile. So my topic today is about how to bringing Agile to the table. How do we do that? Coming from the experience I have in FWD Life Insurance and some other companies as well. So speaking about table, so what I mean is that for normal corporate enterprise, we will have this kind of group. Those C-suite executives, those senior management team, they are actually the one driving the company. They are the one who probably will see IT community as something that is doing unknown or difficult to understand stuff. But then in these few years, technology disruption is actually taking many parts of the business, and the company now starting to pay attention on this. But well, I believe that majority of the senior management on the business side do not very much understand what we are talking about. So when we talk about Agile on the management table, many of the times probably you will have this kind of skeptical thinking. Again, coming from you guys, the geeks from the IT, again, you speak another buzzwords. But then, if we ask the IT people would like to bring the company forward, then it is actually up to our job to convince this group of people to buy in with us. If not, things is not going to work. So what I'm talking today is about how to infuse the Agile mindset to the senior management team. I use the word mindset over here. Mindset, not tools or not even methodologies, just the mindset. Because we are speaking about the business senior management who actually focusing on running the business. They probably not care much about how you do it in terms of technologies. So this is the budget, this is the timeline, you go and deliver. Make sure you control things. I have an opportunity to be the CIO of several companies sitting in the table. So it is some of the voices that I bring forward to share with us that how do they think, and if we want to convince them, how shall we do it? So first thing first, well, we always speaking about the words that probably the management won't understand. So basically, if people in that group don't understand things, they will just start to not pay attention, probably scared off. So that is very important. But one thing for us in this year, let's say 2018, good thing is the world is changing, so we have the opportunity. Technology is actually starting to taking over several business. That's one thing. Second would be we have to focus on the conversation that matters to them. So they are thinking about business. So we need to talk about business value, and we also have to talk about the risk, because these are the two main things, positive and negative, that all senior management would have to pay attention a lot. And one thing about this kind of mindset in Agile is that when we think big, but we start small, and we aim to scale very fast. But last but not the least, don't wait. Do it now. So that is the three key things. Let me go a little bit deeper. So, like John mentioned, VUCA world. We are in the VUCA world. Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. These group of words actually being heard much more in these two years. But if you know, this VUCA has been mentioned first time 1987. So it is actually more than 20 years ago, and now just being bring back. So for us, Agile has been in the community for quite some years. So it is now good opportunity for us as well to change from jargons into the trendy words, whereby the management is starting to hear this kind of words more often. In my experience, most of the senior management in a corporate enterprise usually not very young, so probably 40 or 50 years of age. One thing that we would have to ensure is that we are not saying that all people or things being done in the past are not very clever, not smart. Nothing wrong with that. It was fine at that point in time. But in these few years, the world changed so fast, so the company would have to adapt. So if you can frame this kind of thinking in the management table, one thing you gain is that you don't actually intimidating the conventional wisdom of the senior people. Second is bring the reality to the table, telling them that it is time to adapt. And of course, when you're doing anything, any change, there will be something unknown, and don't worry about it. Speaking about business, I believe from the business management, they were thinking about how to deliver value to the business and how to mitigate the risks. So if we can explain in normal language, avoid those jargons, saying that what would be the benefits of changing the mindset or changing the way of doing things in Agile. One thing that we will have is that we can deliver the business value quicker. Looking into projects, if we try to deliver a project of 18 months long, and hopefully on the 18th month there will be a value, it is very long. But if we can do things in the new way, we can deliver the business quicker. And by doing things in small chunks or small sprints, we are also reducing the risk of what reality in the world is that everything's always changed. So the risks also go down. So this is the two words that is resonant in the mindset of the management. The digital transformation is one of the buzzwords. People like to talk about it. My interpretation of this digital transformation is it is about inspiring people to have the new mindset. Again, people and mindset. To innovate their business processes, probably using technologies, if it is digital transformation, to create the value to the customer. So people come first, and the processes, technology or tools will be the last. And with this kind of frame of thinking, it is less intimidating to those business management who are actually not very much comprehensive in terms of digital or technology buzzwords. But when we talk about people, I believe every management actually always say this is the first priority. So by driving the digital transformation from this angle, we found that it is easier to get the buy-ins from large majority in the company. So mindset is very important. I'd like to stress this importance again. If we from the IT community trying to talk about tools or methodologies, very easy that we get people skeptic again too quickly. So try not to bring upfront the modern technology that actually exciting us but not exciting someone else. That would help. Probably many of us would have seen this kind of graph already, the distribution of innovation. I believe, let's say in Thailand community, we are probably somewhere at the point of we already have the innovators, thanks to people like Agile 66. There has been a spearhead in this community in Thailand for so many years. Right now, this understanding actually expands into the smaller groups of the business management people. So we are now starting to get the trend. But believe me, most of the corporate enterprise senior management, they are more or less on the 64% of early majority or late majority. So it is important that if you want to spread the idea of doing Agile in the enterprise, making sure that you focus on those early adopters. You need your friends. You need change agents in order to form the momentum of having the same mindset and then deliver the business value quicker, less risks, and demonstrate that to the business. Key takeaways that I like to leave you guys today is Agile is still considering new in the business world. So there's a say that pioneers take the arrow, settlers take the land. We probably be one of the pioneer groups in the business world of bringing this new mindset to make the transformation. So have courage. You will face a lot of challenges, and you probably will face a lot of early failure. And be persevere. Keep pushing. Don't fall back. Because at least for myself, I believe this is the right way going forward. But it is not going to be as easy. You face a lot of obstacles. But I believe from this community, we have friends over here. So look at group of people like Agile 66. So they have faced a lot of obstacles delivering Agiles to the community. So it is now for us as well to be part of the spirit pioneers to bring this forward. So last but not the least, this is what I'd like to leave you with, is that for us, at least in FWD, Agile is mindset. And DevOps, as John mentioned earlier, is not the tool, it's the culture. And with this, actually we can demonstrate to the business that doing Agile and DevOps is going to deliver the better outcome to the business. Okay, thank you.
Anyone have questions?
Yeah, any question or anything that I can share more?
Hi, good morning. Thanks for the presentation. Very good statement. I have two questions for you. You mentioned the board in the beginning and then mindset later. On the board, being an agile organization, I guess you're talking about delivery, not end-to-end. How do you teach your board to let go, that the teams are self-empowered where to go? How do you do that? And the second question is mindset. You cannot teach mindset. People can follow a methodology, follow a process or procedure. Mindset, you cannot change. People are born with mindset. That's why you have startups and you have legacy companies. How do you test mindset or hire mindset people?
Okay, so two things, right? The first thing, what I did is that start small. So what we asked to the board or to the senior management is that we are not going to turn over the company in 3 months. Pick something that you have the confidence that you have the right group of people, small one, and some of the business outcome that is not too far away, and then start with that and demonstrate rather than just preaching about agile, preaching about the new thinking, but saying, well, because people in the management team, they don't actually care much on how do you do it. They definitely know the why or the reason of the company, and they know what they want. So we just tell them that this is a small pilot that will show you that is going to make the difference in this small scope. Even if it is going to fail, it's not going to fail drastically. So that was the approach that we did. Then coming to the second question about mindset that you mentioned. Well, I see that a bit differently. I believe that mindset can be changed, but definitely it is difficult. And you probably not be able to turn over, but influencing the new thinking or ask people to a little bit open up on the idea of not just sticking to the plan, but actually sticking to the business value and maneuver towards. This is the way that we did in FWD. Could be that in my company, we start the company with the purpose of change the way people feel about insurance. So that is the mandate of the company. So at least starting with the word change, to make it a little bit fortunate for us to make something that is not status quo. Hopefully that answers.
Any question?
My question is, how do you know that your people has agile mindset already?
Okay. So I think it's a journey. It's not the destination, it's a journey. You probably would not be able to define the criteria to say that if you have these 5 things checked, you are agile. Because for me, it is more on the mindset rather than more on whether you are actually doing the methodology accordingly or not. So most of the time would be if you see the atmosphere of the team actually stepping away from being siloed or stepping away from trying to be very traditional waterfall, but promoting collaboration and promoting the idea of continuous improvement, I believe we can say that we are now making progress on the journey of being agile. Yes, John.
So I think it's more of maybe a comment than a question, but there is actually a book on the point you were talking about being the change mindset. Carol Dweck, it's called Mindset. So she's a Stanford researcher, and she researched the fixed mindset and the growth mindset over a number, like a decade or multiple decades. And her conclusion was what you said, which is that mindset can be changed, even though it's not easy. It certainly can be done.
The board, they like to hear the word measurement. So can you please give us some tips on how to report or to measure when we go toward agile culture and mindset?
So what I can do is actually not to quote, but to tell you the story, the real experience. Since I believe this is a journey, and I also believe that the senior management or the board of directors care more on the what, on the outcome. So what we did is actually we deliver outcome more success. On the other side is the kind of cultural survey that you can find, engagement survey. So these two things actually not the hard target or hard measurement, but as usual in the board of directors, in the C-suite table, it is more, well, many things is very ambiguous. So what we need to put there is this is the outcome of the things that we say we're going to deliver, but deliver to them frequently. So every 2 months they will see something out. And on the other side is for the cultural things like survey. What we tried is actually encourage our people in the team. Actually, when they do survey, try to guide them the thinking of the feeling of team getting closer, of team actually not worry much about silo. This is my job, that is your job. I deliver my job, put it there. It's your job to take it and continue. So if we can guide them, guide the whole team to think that, well, we have that list, isn't it? Haven't you agreed in the past 6 months? Then, well, what I found is that actually the outcome of the index and so it's actually getting up. So these two things we can put together and then tell the story to the senior management, because they don't care much what methodologies are you using. They want to hear the success or hear the failure. That's okay, but tell them how we're gonna fix it.
I have 2 questions. The first one is supposedly that the management is already convinced that Agile is the way to go. But what they decided is that they kind of take the methodology or the practice of an Agile, for example, Scrum, and then applied it into the existing process that they are already using for a long time. And then it's more like it's just only the practice that it got applied to the company, but it's not that the mindset that is the management kind of understand that. What could you do in this kind of situation that to maybe change the situation that the misunderstanding or the mispractice that they are going to see? And the second question is, this is my own situation some times ago. I got the assignment to involve in a project that they kind of expect that they want to apply some practice, for example, Agile, that they expect that after the new practice is applied, they can cut the project, the man hours from the project by 60%. Which is not very realistic, but how can you convince that the management that is something is not very viable, because everyone is kind of new to that process?
So the second part of the question means how the management that cut 60% is actually fancy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. On the first part of the question, I would say start small. Don't try to turn over your company or your PMO governance, the whole company, by Agile. Start small and have proof points, the real one, and from that you get the buy-in slowly. So this kind of thing cannot be done in the black and white. And if we are not that lucky, like the company in ING that is top down saying that we want to go Agile, if not, that's the door. Most of us would not have kind of luxury. So start small. The second part, the key benefits of the business projects, you have to try to convince people, is actually not saving the man hours. whatsoever or reducing the resource, look at time to market. Look at the time, because time is equivalent everywhere. If you can say doing this, you can deliver projects quicker. Don't mention about how many. Then I think you get the interest. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing your experience today. And we have now break, so get back again 10:30.
I have